Hi guys, good morning. So these last couple of weeks have been really bloody horrible and very, very difficult for many of us, I've noticed. And yet, despite that being the case, despite it being fucking horrendous, it's given me a shitload of clarity as to what the deal here is. And I think that happens when you're ready for it. And some of us are and some of us are not. And that's just the way it is. Those who aren't ready yet, like I wasn't ready, say, a year ago, or even 2 months ago, I wasn't really ready, I think. They still have to do the work under the illusion, this is going to be difficult to put into words. I hate this because it really is. I'm sure there's people out there who will be really, really good at putting it into words and, whatever. But I'm just going to have to try my best. And I did take some notes and whatnot on said subject this morning. I keep having dreams and visions, that sounds a bit like, but what else do I call it? I'm just being shown the way, and my dreams speak very clearly, like that dream I had where, if you remember in my last video I talked about this, where I was standing in the hallway of the school, which was just like the school I used to go to when I was a kid, and it was a bloody horrible establishment. They all are, anyway. But that was probably actually part of it. That dream where I was stood in that hallway and behind me were the ruinations of the Wetiko world, and in front of me was the new world, Reset. And I was stood in the school. The school is the education, the mind control, you see. All of us soul travelers, we want stuff to change, yeah? We want to live in a completely different world. We want to experience the magic. We want to experience the magic. We want miracles to happen. We want the suffering to end, and the misery and the insanity and whatnot and whatnot and whatnot. But how many of us, how many of you have really sat down and really intuited about that, how that might happen? We live in a world where mind control is the norm, right? Consciousness hijack is the norm, and we are surrounded by little robots that tell us in their behavior and in their scorn and their assumptions and their judgments and everything, that this is how it's meant to be and that this is normal. And yet we know now that it isn't. We know this is bullshit. This is absolute nonsense. They accept it, and we've lived in their reality we have lived in that reality, and okay, this is how it is. This is how it's meant to be. And then you wake up to a certain level and you think you need to fight the forces of darkness. You have to fight them. And some people stay there. They just never leave that level. They just seem to perennially stay stuck on that level. It's all external, and I'm just going to hate these motherfuckers for having this point of view, and I'm going to hate them for having that point of view, and they're all wrong and whatnot. And people should wake the fuck up, and the sheeple this and the sheeple that. But you're actually only in conflict with yourself. Everything that you have strong feelings about, of animosity, relates back to something within yourself. I have learned this, right? The world external is a hall of mirrors. It's cloak and dagger. It's a mysterious thing that is virtual, that isn't real, and it isn't set in stone, because I've been conducting a little experiment of my own here, even whilst in the midst of feeling like fucking absolutely horrendous. But I knew I had to do this, and it seems to be panning out. I'm going to carry on with it. You see, I can just tell this video is going to be really, really rambly. We all want to believe that we are creator beings and that we have power. Yet every day we sit on our ass and live out powerlessness. I do that too, you know, still. I feel that way, because that is what mass consciousness, well, I call it hell consciousness, that is what it does. That is what hell consciousness does. It's like, okay, you're powerless. There's nothing you can do. You feel it. You feel that sense of powerlessness. You feel that sense of horror. You feel that sense of gut-wrenching grief and fear and hate and rage, which is all externalized and projected outwards. And it's a catch-22 anyway, because it comes to us from there and then we project it outwards. We spend a lot of time looking at other people and judging them and getting angry about their behavior, but in essence, really, the point of power always lies here within us. Always does. But it takes ages to learn that. It takes ages to sort of understand that. It takes ages to understand what this is, this thing we call reality. And I suppose we have different ways of getting there, different ways of seeing it, of understanding it. We use different words, different terminology, whatever. But what you would ask yourself is, what is it you really, really fucking want at the end of the day? And why is it you're here? What are you, who are you, and why are you here? And what is here? Hell consciousness creates hell. So you look at this world, look around you, really look at it. And tune in and sort of be with your own emotions, your own mind, your emotions. See the correlation, see how this world and you being in it, see how that makes you feel on a day-to-day basis. How does that make you feel? What kind of emotions are you feeling? Feel. Listen to your feelings, right? Listen to your emotions. Watch your mind, your consciousness. All the different, like shards of broken glass. Gee, it's all woo, wow. You'll find most of it is not of a positive bent. Most of it is really quite bloody heavy, dense, dark, tortuous, fucking hard going. I've spoken at length about the dark generator. These thoughts that we have that clearly are not really our own. I've spoken at length about the subconscious, which is where the real putrid darkness, the real shadow realm lies within us. Quite a few of us have never even been down there. We've yet to go into that. We've yet to realize what lies in the cellar, in the basement of our being. We haven't even realized that. I have learned for myself, that's just me, for myself, that's all. I've learned to read reality, to read it all, because to me it's symbolistic. I call it symbolistic. It's probably not an actual word, but I don't really care. I call it symbolistic. I read it. And in doing so, I've learned a great deal about myself. I came into this world and I took on a fake identity, a fake persona, and I lived that fake persona for many years, never questioning it. Well, I did question it, but I didn't question it, if you know what I mean. I mean, all us soul travellers were born with an impetus, with a sense that something here ain't right. We all have that, you know. The NPCs, the blanks, the Hylics, call them what you will, they don't have that. They're happy, but you know, or they're actually not all happy at all. That's rubbish. They come in all shapes and sizes. Some of them are malevolent, some of them are kind seeming. I find they're all very narcissistic and whatnot. I have my own take on it, and this is not a video about NPCs or Hylics anyway, because somebody left a comment somewhere about that, and I tend to agree. We spend far too much time, as it is, focusing on the external. There is a need for us to focus on the external because we need to learn from it, but it's how we do it that matters. And when we give it all our power and get entangled in it over and over and over again, not realizing that it's actually virtual and that it's a hall of mirrors that we can use to our advantage for our own internal power, then yeah, well, we just get stuck in the me versus the world scenario, which is ultimately all about powerlessness and victimhood, and that is never ever going to help you in any way. When you go through a shitload of horribleness in this life, and you know you've just taken it on the chin one too many times, and you're there and you're begging for mercy, and you think something's got to give now. I've done the work, something has got to give. Then you're waiting for something to happen to you. You're waiting for something to happen to you, for somebody or something to come and rescue you and make it all right again. But that is not how this works here. No. That's not how it works. We are here to create. I still think it's a kind of school in a way. Or maybe it isn't so much a school as I'm going to forget my true essence, which is I'm a magical creative being. I'm going to forget that for a while. I'm going to experience the exact opposite of that. And then I'm going to remember who I am, and I'm going to re-embody my true self, and I'm going to do what I do best, which is to create. How do we create in this nightmarish scenario? Well, we change our consciousness. We heal, we begin, because creating comes from in here, right? It doesn't happen to us. Life, in essence, in a way, doesn't really happen to us. We happen to it. And when you have hell consciousness, when you are born into a certain family which abuses you mentally, physically, emotionally, sexually, whatever, in this world which abuses you in every imaginable way, which it has done, it has mind controlled us, it has literally tortured us, it's done a lot to us, and we have felt like victims. And we want vengeance, and we want this, and we want that, because we're still externalizing it, and we're still thinking of it as we are the victims, and we have to, and something has to happen, and that is not how it works. But it takes us for ages and ages to work that out. I call that taking the leap of faith, and it's the hardest thing any of us will ever do. To realize that, you know what, we're not victims here at all. We have experienced victimhood, yes. We are experiencing abuse, yes. Mind control, yes. Insanity, yes. Pain, physical disease, old age, everything in this realm. This is a hell realm, people. In many different, it is. In many ways, it's a hell realm, whatever. So we experience that, and it does make us feel powerless. It does make us feel like a victim, because that is the type of consciousness that in and of itself gives rise over and over and over again to this type of experience. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, that is what a lot of us do. In fact, all of us do that. We don't realize that what's really going on here is a shift in consciousness, because this entire thing we call reality is electromagnetic, and so is consciousness. Consciousness creates reality. Not in the way that the New Age would have you believe, Personally, I don't give a shit about creating a Porsche and winning the lottery and having millions. Well, I would like millions, but here's the thing. If I live in my desired, on my desired frequency, in my desired type of world, I don't need money. Why the fuck would I need money, you know? I know what I want to create. I know where I belong. I know to a larger extent now what I am and what I'm here to do. It isn't so much about an identity either. It's not I am this or I am that, because that's very ego-centered and fake persona bullshit. It isn't about the name of it or the exact dimensions of it. This is what I am. No. What you are is in what you do, what you bring forth, what you create. Therein lies your essence, your sense of self as a creator being. It's difficult to put into words, but I think some of you might get that. Hell consciousness creates hell. And then we have the opposite of that, which is the consciousness of love. Infinite love and infinite creativity, which is what we truly are. That is our true essence, and it's all about essence. It's not about an identity, it's about essence, meaning I am infinite love and infinite creativity. I've experienced the exact opposites. I've been here in hell, and I've taken on that temporary fake self. Oh, this is happening to me, that's happening to me, I'm powerless, there's nothing I can do. Or you realise that, oh, if I do this and if I eat very healthily, then that will happen. And if I do that, and I give, or all these different ways of experiencing life in the extreme limitation module, you know, where it literally is an uphill struggle every day, and it's fucking, I call it obstructionism, it's fucking appalling, people, we know this, it's fucking hard going. And you know, no matter how hard you try, you never really get anywhere, or so it would seem, on the material plane. Some people do, but most people don't, not really. And in the awakening, in the true awakening, you become more and more disenchanted. Because you see it more and more and more. You realise what this is. You know, it is a hell realm in many ways. You know, it's like, well, the dark side always seems to have the upper hand. The dark side always seems to win. Well, it doesn't, because there would not be any light, anything at all left in this world at all. But evil is a matter of consciousness. It's a matter of diseased, malfunctioning consciousness. Evil is a misunderstanding. Evil is a schism. Evil is self-hate. And there's a lot of people that don't realize this yet. Their journey is still ongoing. If you told me this 2 years ago, I would have said, well, no, I don't hate myself. That's not the case. But eventually things happen, and I realized what was going on. That all that rage and all that hate I felt towards the external, I also felt toward myself. Because why would you feel this hate and this rage towards the external world if you didn't feel it for yourself? I mean, that goes without saying. Well, it seems obvious to me anyway. If you loved yourself truly, you'd be creating a very different experience. And I don't mean in the mundane either. So it brings me back to consciousness and the shift in consciousness which is happening. It hasn't affected the material plane, quite the opposite. It seems to be making us more sick than ever before, which then in itself gives rise to more awakening. It's as if the trials and the tribulations that are inflicted upon us, seemingly, are there to awaken us deeper and deeper and deeper, and our consciousness seems to be going higher and higher and higher. As a result, we have these awarenesses, these insights, I get it, I understand it now. And And we're all at different levels of that experience. There's really nothing, I think, that you can do as such to clear and change your own consciousness. Not with your, not with the part of you that's mired in the hell consciousness. So it's something that happens via your true self. There is this sense that you are protected, that you are guided, and you set your intention. This is the will. Every day, one way or another, I think, we are asked, what is it you really want? Where do you really want to go? Deep within ourselves. And we say, well, I want to be free. I want miracles. I want magic. I want my magic back. You then sink back into, well, everything's really shit, I'm going to have to do that. And tortuous, difficult, obstructionist consciousness, which then plays out. Of course, you see it all around you. You know. So, shit happens. And it causes an upheaval volcanically within you. And you go through shit and you're very depressed. And you're very angry. And this and that and all kinds of shit happens, man. Different things for different people, but wow. And you think, well, I must be getting it wrong and it's all fucked up and we're all fucked and evil always wins and everything's shit and I want to kill somebody, you know. Well, that is the clearing of the consciousness. That is what it is. That is the healing of consciousness. That's what's happening, and that's why we all feel like shit. It feels like shit, but it's a good thing. So just pay attention, not so much to what is actually happening in your life or in your body. Well, obviously you pay attention to that. It's there, it's happening, and it's like terrifying. But watch what is happening to your consciousness, because that is where it's at. That is what will show you that you're on the right path, because shit's happening to your consciousness, to how you understand, to how you compute. It's very deep, this knowing, and it doesn't make sense to the rational left brain at all. It is not of the left brain. The hell realm that we live in is of the left brain. Evil is left brain. It has no creativity. 1 and 1 it's 2, and that's the system is stupid. It isn't just evil, it's fucking stupid. It never works. It never works. For reasons of obstructionist and really sticking the knife in, of course, there is that. But even well-meaning people set up systems and whatnot, and it's just like the catch-22, doing the same thing over and over again but expecting different results, is very much of hell consciousness. It's stupid, it's sluggish, it's angry, it wants to blame, point fingers, project. It doesn't see or understand the correlation between the external and the internal, that make that vital connection. See that there is a connection. It isn't straightforward. No, it isn't straightforward. There is a card in the tarot, the High Priestess. It's the type of consciousness that dwells in two worlds. Left brain, where everything is, and this whole world's falling apart, people. We know that. This world is it's just falling apart. It's being dismantled now. So we are being dismantled. That consciousness is being dismantled. How could it be any other way? We are actually doing really well. And like the High Priestess, we are beginning more and more and more to see beyond the veil, as it were. Because that is the true reality. It is mystical, it is magical, it is miraculous. That is true living, true being. That's what we do. We are creator beings. Oh, the resistance to that notion, though, is so fierce. It's unbelievable. The hell consciousness will resist to the bitter end. And like I say, Wetiko has many tricks up its sleeve. Many, many, many tricks. anything to stop you from seizing the Holy Grail, which is love consciousness, which creates magic and miracles and reset, which is really what we want. But hell consciousness keeps pulling the wool over our eyes, so we keep heading in the wrong directions. Oh, it's here, it's there, it's like this, it's like that, it's ooh and it's ah, and we get confused, and we have all this trauma and all this programming and all this mind control and the dark generator going on. So yeah, of course we're gonna, it's a quest. It's a quest, right? We're in the lands of fucking Mordor here, people. So of course we're gonna feel like shit. Of course most of the time we're not gonna see love consciousness at work. But there are these glimpses, you get these glimpses of it where you realise, yeah, I get it. And then it's like, whoa, the mist descends, the fog descends, and you don't get it again. And you have to go into yourself again and experience another layer of agonizing fucking trauma, mind control, programming, you name it. So, we're soul travelers, you know, this is what we do. We came here to do this and we are doing it. It may not seem that way and it may not feel that way. I know that from experience. Fuck me, the last week has been just beyond fucking words. But the magic for me lies in the very subtle nuances of the changing of my consciousness, where these revelations are coming my way saying, hey, do you see it? Do you get it? Do you? And I'm like, yeah, I see it and I get it. That I am powerful. That I can create reset. That I just haven't got any words for it even, you know. Reset meaning that maybe, you know, we leave this place and go somewhere, but I don't really believe that is the case. No. I'm not even so sure about timelines or anything. These are all different ways of referring, in a way, to the same thing. It's where the world within you, in your consciousness, changes. Your consciousness is healing. And eventually it will begin to affect the external, because of course it does, because consciousness creates reality, see? Oh, headachy as fuck. But it is consciousness of love versus consciousness of hell, which is all full of victimhood and I'm powerless and, you know, which is external focused. You know, which is deflection. Oh, I'm not looking at my own inner shit. I'm just out there. And it's the perfect trap. It's all where to go. It's all traps. You get stuck in it temporarily, then something, and you work it out. Oh, you're on another layer, and you might get trapped somewhere there, and then you're on another layer. It's just like, kind of like playing a computer game in a way, people, level after level. You know this anyway. You know this. Some of you know this, you've walked this path and you've experienced this. You may have different ways of looking at it and different ways of putting it into words, but that is basically what it is. The notion that we're never going to get anywhere, that evil always wins, the fear, the rage, all of that is the hell consciousness. And then every now and then, occasionally, you get an insight and you realise, and there is no way to put that into words. And because we're not experiencing that here now as yet, as in, I'm literally affecting the materium now and bringing into form some serious fucking powerful incredibleness. That isn't happening as yet, no. And it's there saying, oh, that's never going to happen. You're delusional. Look at the world is shit. It has so much leverage, doesn't it? The dark side, it has so much leverage. I mean, you think about everything you've been through from the minute you were born up to this point here now, what you're going through in your daily living now, and what's happening, supposedly, in the world. Believe me, a lot of shit the papers are saying is happening, like, oh, they're going to come knocking on your door to force vaccinate you. Ain't never going to happen, people. It's not. It's bullshit. And again, don't feed that shit. If you spend your days looking into that, video after video after video, oh, they're gonna do this and they're gonna do that and this is happening and that's happening, then you're just a fucking fear junkie. Don't do it. Focus on what is happening in your own consciousness. Go there, go here, come home to yourself. What am I feeling? What is my true self wanting to show me? Talk to your true self. Ask for guidance, ask for insights, ask for the revelations, they will come. You're here to return home to yourself, to realize how powerful and magical and amazing you are, and to put that into effect. We all are, that's why we're here, that's what our consciousness does. Don't look to the little people around you. They're neither here nor there, they're not powerful, they're just minions of Wetiko, of the dark side. They're nothing. Somebody said that today, they don't even know that they exist. This is very true, I believe. You know, they're just cartoon characters, they're nothing, they're neither here nor there. Every experience that you have, regardless of its nature, whatever it is, a conversation with somebody, or you come across something that really annoys you, or, you know, another health problem has arrived that makes you feel like absolute shit, right? Whatever it is, no matter how gut-wrenchingly awful it is even, go into it and wonder what is this about? Why is this happening? It's like our health, right? And this people saying, oh, I have this problem or I have that problem, so what can I eat or not eat to make it better? Should I go on I remember all the fad was for the Candida diet or the keto diet, or, you know, anti-inflammatory diets, and you can't eat this and you mustn't eat that. It is again same old shit, obstructionist bullshit, like ooh. Obviously we know that to eat a healthy diet and to look after our bodies is important, so we do that as best we can. Ooh. But ultimately, it's consciousness that creates reality, people. Ultimately, if you want a healthy body, you need to have healthy consciousness. Love consciousness, heaven consciousness, miracle consciousness creates reset, creates the healing of our bodies, creates the healing of this realm. Reset, literally. How exactly that will pan out, I don't know. What will it look like? I don't know. Right now, I don't give a shit. I don't want to go there. I'm here doing the little, laying the foundation, those little cornerstones, like whatever. I'm laying the foundation and I'm going to go with it. You know why? Because I can choose to stay in hell, think in hell, feel in hell, be against myself, resist these uncomfortable emotions, these horrible thoughts, or I can choose to stop fighting back, to stop resisting. No, I don't want to feel this way and I shouldn't be having these thoughts and I'm guilty. I feel guilty because I shouldn't feel this way. No, I don't. I accept these feelings and I accept these horrible thoughts because fighting evil, resisting evil feeds it. I have learned this. So I don't do that now. I choose instead, there is another part of me, it's weird, almost like multiple personality disorder. So you're there while having these horrible thoughts of doom, impending doom and defeat. It's horrible, that's what severe depression does. Anxiety. It's bad. There's this fear and hate and rage and self-attack, punishment, sabotage. Because it's all of it, all the nuances, it's all here now, which is meaningful. Because last year it was like, now we're going to work on this and then we're going to work on that, and we might work on 2 or 3 aspects at the same time, but like now it's all of it, everything, boom. So that's meaningful, that's very meaningful. That means we're really making headway here, people. I know we are, I can feel it, right? So stop resisting the healing process. Don't get in the way of the clearing up of your consciousness. It feels really shit. You have these horrible thoughts going through your head. You know, you become aware of all the internal insanity. brought about by you being in this realm. So all the self-sabotage, all the weird, sketchy shit that goes on within your own consciousness, and all the depression and the fear and the rage and all these different aspects of yourself all seeming at war with each other, all this weird shit's going on. It's like a war zone within our psyche. And you can resist that and feel guilty. I shouldn't feel this way. And that makes it even worse, because you're basically abandoning yourself and you're rejecting yourself, leaving yourself to it there in the hinterlands. No. Embrace yourself, your courageous self, and say, wow, okay, I'm going to be here with you. I'm going to facilitate. We're going to just allow this to be, and it passes, it does, and yeah, it takes away, because there's more shit coming in and that passes, and more shit comes in and that passes, and so forth and so on. And some days are so difficult that you just want to jump in a bath and call it a day. Other days are a little bit more bearable, people. This is the the 0 point, call it what you will. This is it now. It's just, there are no words for this. It would be so good if we could just easily put it into words and say it's this and this is how to do it. You know, here's the manual. Yeah, if you follow those steps, then everything is going to work out by the 30th of August or something. You know, it doesn't work that way, people. Hence the High Priestess. She understands the world beyond words. The truth lies beyond language. It lies beyond what we can conceive of with the left brain. Love consciousness is infinite creativity. It has no problem with any of the magic. And we will see the magic more and more. We will get it more and more. That I really do feel. Provided our intention is set that way. You know, It requires of us to take a leap of faith, people, over and over and over again, to take a leap of faith, to have a little faith and a little trust in the innate benevolence of this experience, rather than the innate malevolence, the innate malignancy. Hell consciousness it believes in the innate evil, darkness, malignancy, and it is forever mired there. Well, that is the truth, that's how it is. Love consciousness is on the other side, and it believes, trusts, knows the innate benevolence, the innate creativity, love, goodness, meaningfulness, oomph, right? And we choose continually, we're piggy in the middle, whoa. Because there it's like, oh, if you trust love, if you go over there, it's all gonna it's gonna turn out to be some sort of evil plot, and you're gonna be betrayed, and it's gonna smash you, pulverize you, rip you apart. But if you stay in the dark, you're gonna get that anyway. You are being destroyed, abused, tormented, fucked up the ass every fucking minute of the day, just by choosing to stay in the dark. By choosing that, you create that over and over and over again. You've experienced that. But I find that the more you are able to surrender and to sense that support, that love, that yes, I choose love consciousness, infinite creativity, to know that I am powerful and that I love myself. And yes, okay, I feel like shit at the same time. How amazing is that? Both, all here, everything is here in the same room, everybody's shouting. But you make it through, as long as you want to, as long as you set your intention, you do make it through. It is meant to happen, you know, people. And we are not doing this alone. We have our soul family, which is the soul traveler family, as it were. We feel each other over the bandwidths. You know, we sense when any of us is in trouble. I don't know, I do anyway, I don't know. I sense when my soul brothers and sisters are in trouble, and I send out a little love. I hope they do the same for me. But ultimately we have to walk our own path. We each and every one of us have to walk our own path, make our own discoveries. And whenever the time is right for each and every one of us, discover that we are powerful creator beings, infinite love and infinite creativity. And that whichever consciousness we choose, hell consciousness or love consciousness, is what will sit in the throne of power and will emanate its vibrations on the field and create its desired reality. So which do we allow to flow through us? You know, it's like that story about the two wolves. You know, there are two wolves in each person, and one is ravenous and dark and the other one is powerful and radiant. And which wolf wins? Well, the one that you feed. Be aware of what you're feeding, people, but do not beat yourself up for feeding the dark wolf, because that is what you're used to and you've done it your entire fucking life. Little by little by little, you will stop incrementally feeding that nasty wolf and start feeding that nice wolf, all right, bit by bit. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. We're taught to punish ourselves mercilessly for getting it wrong. But you see, getting it right is made up of many getting it wrongs. That is how you learn to get it right. That's just how it is. So it's fine, in my humble opinion. It's all about that leap of faith, people. But it's something that, you know, I'm trying to put into words here, and, you know, until you get it, you won't get it. You still believe that evil always wins. You look at the world and you think, well, look, it has so much leverage, you know, it does. It's like, well, there you go, and look at your life, and look at everything you've been through, and everything you're going through now, and look what's happening in the world. Evil always wins, evil always wins. It's obvious. Okay, yeah, so that's how it is then. So let's just give up and sit there and gnaw at our own bone in the torture chamber, while saying something's got to change, something's got to get better now. Well, that's not going to happen, is it? Not like that. How is that going to happen? Then you're waiting for something to come and save you, but you're not here for that. You're here to save yourself, because you're a magical creator being. Either you believe that you're powerless and shit and worthless, or you believe you're powerful and magical and can do this. Either one or the other, you choose. We all have to make that choice. It's the only choice, it's the ultimate choice. That's it. It's the hardest thing to do right now, I know, but it is what it is, people. What can I say? I mean, the Holy Grail. Consciousness is the Holy Grail. It's the you know, the be-all and end-all of it. It creates reality. Reality is vibrational. It's electromagnetic. It isn't real, like set in stone, like the dark side wants you to believe. And the dark side is just your own malfunctioning consciousness that, you know, seeks to keep existing, but it won't. Because that's what this is all about. That's what this quest ultimately is all about. Love always wins in the end, always. It will be alright in the end, people. And if it isn't alright, that's because it's not the end yet. Alright? All my love to you.